Hi friends, it's Jeff. I'm coming to you today with Sketchbook Tour number 3. This is one of my favorite sketchbooks. I've got a lot of drawings in here that I'm super proud of. So yeah, I'm excited to get to show you all. I was working on this from August of 2023 all the way to June of 2024. So yeah, another year in my life, another year full of sketching, and come along with me and check it out. Thanks for watching. All right, let's get into it. I got this sketchbook from my mom. My parents were visiting Ljubljana, Slovenia, of all places, and yeah, they happened to find a store that was selling sketchbooks and got this for me, and yeah, it served me really well. It's a great sketchbook. Looking at the first drawing here, got kind of an Initial D inspired cool anime person in their car. I don't hate this. I think the coloring is all right for the most part. Some really wonky perspective here, but yeah, I don't mind this as a first page. Moving forward now, got some cool kind of blueprint designs of a helicopter. Definitely looks like I spilled water all over the page. This is the Eurocopter EC blah 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 blah. And yeah, I think this is pretty cool. I like this up close look at the rotor here. I always kind of like knowing how like mechanical parts like that work together, so I think that's pretty cool. This is one of my favorite pages in this sketchbook. This is Gon and Killua from Hunter x Hunter, and I love the way that the coloring came out, especially on this one. These were both from a reference, or I think this one was less so, but this definitely is from a reference. But yeah, I just love how this came together, and kind of the pastel-y shades of the colored pencils here, I think really kind of work with this kind of design. But yeah, I've always really loved this drawing. And Killua here, I was trying to go for something a little darker and edgier to kind of match his character. So I added in his dog here and was trying to do some kind of weird basement type thing. Again, another example of some kind of rough understanding of perspective, but yeah, still super happy with these pages overall. It's just testing out some colored pencils here. And then I've got some crazy looking people here. I've got this guy in a straitjacket, person peeking through at their hands there. Not too bad. I've got some super cool drawings here of Snake from Metal Gear Solid. I've actually never played the games, but the concept art for Metal Gear Solid is really beautiful. They use kind of a brush pen, almost kind of watercolory style. And I think that's kind of an interesting juxtaposition with, like, you know, the militaristic elements of Snake's character. So I was definitely going from a reference, but I remember actually this was my first attempts trying out kind of a real official brush pen, or one with, you know, that was simulating a brush a little bit more than a pen. So yeah, super happy with how these came out. And yeah, just really, really cool style. I've got some nice drawings here of some kind of construction equipment. I don't really know what this is called, but you know what it is. Cool little spaceship design that I came up with there, kind of funky, but yeah, I don't mind that. And then a nice little doodle here. Not a whole lot to say about it, but you know, good and fills up the page. I was doing a lot of figure drawing at the time, I remember. And this was an attempt to draw some people just posing on Pinterest, but just draw them only in pen. So I remember this was my first attempt, and then my second attempt, third and fourth. And I think looking at them in that progression, they definitely all get better. I think this guy who was the last one I drew looks pretty good, or, you know, definitely stylized, but I think his proportions came out looking pretty good. Okay, let's see what's going on this page. September 16th. I don't really know what's going on this page. Sometimes I just need to scribble. Frankie and I, who was my roommate at the time, are hosting a housewarming party tonight. I hope it goes well. It went okay. I think people had fun and the house was full. Yeah, I remember this. Just some nice little doodles here. And then on this page, I was talking about my skateboarding progress for the year. I had a list of tricks that I already could do and then some tricks that I wanted to learn. I don't think I ended up learning any of them, but sometimes that's how it goes. I've got some cool drawings here of Zoro and Luffy from One Piece. Definitely experimenting with the brush pen here to moderate success, I would say. I think some of these lines are just super fuzzy, and I was definitely not managing the ink flow super well, but I think they still came out looking pretty cool. On this page, I was planning a Christmas gift for my mom. I wanted to make a drawing for her, and she's a photographer and kind of got her start photographing birds in a kind of dark black and white, kind of gothic or, you know, mysterious style. So I was coming up with some thumbnail sketches for some ideas. Got some figure drawing here, just 60 seconds it says, so yeah, well, quick little posing. Some more figure drawing here. I remember this is Cam Newton, the football player. He looks okay. But this woman here, I actually really like how the weight is kind of placed on this leg here. I always thought that looked really good. On this drawing here, this is definitely from a reference from Dorohedoro, a manga series I really love. There'll be a lot of that in this sketchbook, but yeah, Kyu Hayashida, the artist, I love her style and how kind of gritty and grimy everything looks. But yeah, this bike design I think is so sweet, and yeah, super happy with how that came out. Got some little faces here and colored pencils. I've got some more characters from Dorohedoro. This is Noi and Shin, two of my favorites. And yeah, I think I was really using the brush pen well here, where it kind of works for this really kind of gritty, grimy style. And I love how, you know, this kind of fades out here with these messy lines. And then just another brush pen experiment trying to draw a dude there. Here, I've got a little note saying Chloe at Joe Le Cafe, which was the coffee shop she was working at the time. Little drawing of her there. I promise she's much more beautiful than this, but I was trying my best. Super ugly drawings there. You've got to have a few of them in every sketchbook. Got just a quick little sketch of Armin from Attack on Titan here. Armin's my favorite character from that series, so yeah, had to represent and have him show up in the sketchbook. So this was Inktober, start of October in 2023, and I did kind of a fun thing this year where I wrote out all of the prompts for the days here, and then I took every pen that I had in my collection and used every pen that I had to kind of do these designs here. And I remember ranking the pens of what was my favorite at the time all the way to my least favorite. I don't know why I had to categorize them like that, but it seemed like a fun idea at the time, but I like how this came out. Then we've got day one here, which is Dream. Drew a little scene from The Metamorphosis by Franz Kafka. Day two here, prompt was Spider. I drew Crollo from Hunter x Hunter. If you've read the series, I don't know, you'll get it. He's a part of a group of thieves called the Spiders, so there's a connection there. Day three, the prompt was Path. I wrote, I didn't feel like drawing today. This one is kind of ass. And yeah, it's, I don't think this is one of my best ones, but it's okay. Day four, Dodge. I drew a Dodge, pretty self-explanatory there. Day five was Map. I tried drawing like what's this called? A topographical map? I don't know, whatever the map is where it shows the different elevations. That was the idea here. I think it was a cool idea or a cool concept for this, but yeah, I never got around to finishing it. Day 6, the prompt was golden. I drew myself at the park, I remember. I said, I skateboarded to Jola to see Chloe. I ate shit and spilled coffee all over myself. I drew this at Willamette Park at golden hour. I'm not very good at landscapes. And yeah, this is pretty messy and ugly, but kind of nice having the context for what was going on that day. Day 7, drip. Drew some drip coffee here in a really oddly shaped coffee mug. Day 8, it was toad. I think this kind of looks more like a frog than a toad, but yeah, I really love how this came out. Like, I love this smoking jacket and cane. He's a pretty regal gentleman, if I do say so myself. So yeah, I thought that one had some character. And then day 9 was bounce. I drew my desktop lamp. It's kind of a reference to the Pixar lamp that bounces around. Day 11, the prompt was fortune. I drew Nami from One Piece, who is always collecting money, so yeah, that's the connection point there. Day 11 again, I got my numbers wrong here for sure. This one's wander though, and I drew some kind of hermit here in a van. Not a bad drawing. I remember that this is definitely just from my imagination, because you can see some of these lines here. I'm trying to figure out how to shape this. This van is pretty rough, but you know, that's how you learn. Day 12, the prompt was spicy. So my interpretation for that was drawing a pepper as a stripper. Yeah, not a whole lot to be said there. Day 13, castle, just some kind of doodly castle design. I don't think I really wanted to draw this day, if I remember right, so I just kind of put some lines on the paper and called it a day. Day 15, dagger was the prompt, and yeah, super happy with this drawing. I think this was using the brush pen pretty well to get some good values here. And then yeah, nice cool dagger design. Pretty happy with that one overall. Day 16, angel. Yeah, I don't love this one. I think the wings are kind of cool, or I think I like the size of them. But yeah, pretty bad figure drawing of this angel here. Day 17, this is kind of silly, but I have a huge fear of needles, and I remember on this day I went and got my COVID vaccine, so it doesn't sound like a very big deal, but to me, every year when I have to get my flu shot or go to the doctors, I freak the fuck out. So I was talking about battling my demons today, and yeah, I don't know. Day 18 here, prompt is saddle. I think this one is super badass. I remember this was just from my memory, if I remember right. And even though this horse is maybe a little short here, I think it came out looking super cool. And I love how kind of dark everything is and the use of gray here. So yeah, super happy with that drawing. Moving on to day 20, the prompt was frost, but I said, this doesn't really have anything to do with frost. I'm just reading Dorohedoro, and I wanted to draw Dokuga, who's this character. Cool character, really sweet character design, and yeah, again, I love Kyu Hayashida's art style, and took a lot of inspiration from her, so, you know, I just wanted to get back into my bag of drawing anime characters, so, you know, kind of took the day off for Inktober. Day 21, the prompt was chains. I drew chains around a heart here. This is definitely in reference to Kurapika from Hunter x Hunter, who has an ability that involves chains going around hearts. But yeah, I think this is super cool. Looking back on it, I would have liked to have made the lines around these chains a little bit bolder, given those lines a little bit more depth to kind of make them pop a little bit. But all in all, I think I executed on this pretty well. Day 22 here, the prompt was scratchy. At this time, I had booked my appointment for my very first tattoo, and I was super nervous. As I just mentioned, I have a big phobia of needles, so yeah, I was really freaking out over it. So the idea here was to try and draw a tattoo machine to kind of get an understanding of it and hope that it would make me less nervous. But yeah, I was still pretty scared, but got the tattoo, it went great, and was not too bad. So yeah, kind of a fun memory there. Day 23, the prompt was Celestial. This is taken from a manga called Planetes, which is a really great series, super underrated. I would really highly recommend it. But yeah, I love this astronaut here, so cool. And then, you know, kind of cool background here of the Earth. Although, trust me, I was trying to come up with my own continent shapes. This is vaguely North America shaped, but trust me, I know that South America does not look like this. So please spare me your comments. Some more Inktober drawings here. Day 24 was Shallow. Kind of a shitty drawing, but I think it's kind of funny, or fitting for the prompt, so I'm not too mad at it. Day 25, Dangerous. Drew a guy jaywalking here and, you know, not giving two fucks about it. And then day 26 here, the prompt was Remove. My roommate at the time had a really fucking annoying cat who was a complete gremlin and was just like, you know, horrible around food, where he would try and, you know, anytime you were cooking or eating, he would be all up in there. So yeah, he always had to be removed from the premises. Day 19, so I'm a bit out of order here. It was Plump was the prompt, so I drew some blueberries. Day 13, Rise. I really like this one because this feels very kind of classic October Halloween time inspired. So yeah, I think this was kind of fun. Might have added a little bit more shading to the hand if I was to do it today, but yeah, not bad. Day 27, the prompt was Beast. This is Father Ludwig from Bloodborne, if I remember right. Really great boss, super cool character design. Yeah, pretty ugly, but you know, that's kind of the point. He did come out looking pretty bestial. Day 27, the prompt is Sparkle. I drew Pariston Hill from Hunter x Hunter, who I think is a really hilarious representation of the kind of always on, but kind of dark underneath the surface politician. So it felt like it matched the prompt for myself. Day 29, I drew a panel from Berserk of Guts holding his Dragon Slayer, this pretty badass sword. Yeah, not mad at how this came out. Then we're getting to the end of Inktober here. Day 30, prompt was Brush. I just wanted to use a brush pen. That was the interpretation here, but this is another drawing from Dorohedoro of the main character Kaimen. Super cool. I like how I did this kind of framing here of putting it in this little circle. And then day 31, Fire. I was continuing the trend of having really bad drawings of Ace from One Piece in my sketchbook. I think we're up to like 5 or 6 really bad drawings of Ace now. And yeah, this certainly fits the mold. So at this time, I was really excited to be done with Inktober, honestly. I was kind of looking forward to using color or just, yeah, some different art supplies. So I drew some hands here, and these are all definitely from Jujutsu Kaisen, because I can really recognize the Gege Akutami's art style here of the way he draws hands. But yeah, good little practice. I think this is probably my favorite page in this sketchbook. These are all character drawings from Dorohedoro again. So these are definitely all going from a reference, but yeah, I'm just super proud of the detail in these and how they came out. This was one of my first attempts of messing around with graphite pencils, so I used that for the shading, and yeah, I'm just so happy with how these came out. I really think I captured the detail of her art style really well, and yeah, in particular this metallic leg brace thing, I've always thought came out super well. Just so happy with that. So yeah, nice having a drawing I'm really proud of here in the middle of the sketchbook. And then actually, funnily enough, this is also one of my favorite pages, even though it's like a totally different style. We've got some more drawings from Dora Hidoro here. These were just really quickly done on some sticky notes, and then I used some tape putting them into the sketchbook. Added a pretty sweet dragon over the top here. And then, yeah, big doodle here of this cool guy. All right, let's keep it moving. Pretty cool drawing here. I had done some watercolor on a different piece of paper here, kind of this rainbow style, and then I added some colored pencils on top of it of, I think this is a tulip, maybe? I don't know. But yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. And a pretty fun hand here. Definitely too many finger joints, I think, on these two fingers, but yeah, still kind of cool. I've got some pretty light pencil drawings here. These were definitely just something I was coming up with on my own. But yeah, I like this foreshortening here of this pistol here in this guy's hand. I think that's pretty cool. And then, you know, like a army marine lady or something. I don't know. Nice little doodle here. Honestly don't love how this drawing came out, but I like how blue this pen is. I think it kind of makes it pop. And just, yeah, like some kind of journal entry here. Don't need to go all the way into that. I've got some faces here from Dora Hidoro again. Yep, I was not lying. Super inspired by Q Hayashida at the time, so I was just, yeah, really wanting to draw a lot of things from the series, and yeah, I like how this page came out a lot. I think this is pretty cool. Then got Kaiman's eye there in the middle. If you know, you know. Okay, this helps place this. This says the Depression Dragon. We're now in the middle of winter in this sketchbook, and at the time I was unemployed and living in Portland, where the winters are cold and rainy and just like cloudy every day. So yeah, I was definitely feeling pretty depressed and tried to draw a big dragon swirling and swooping around the page, and this is what I came up with, and yeah, it was just kind of symbolic of how I was feeling at the time. So I've got some pretty fun drawings here from Jujutsu Kaisen. So we've got Yuji and Mahito. I used some watercolor paper here that I then glued into this sketchbook. But I really like how it kind of gives the effect of these characters having like aura or cursed energy, I guess. And yeah, cool movement here. I like how Yuji came out especially. So yeah, pretty happy with these. This is December 13th now is where we're at. I said, I want to practice using a brush pen. It's pretty tricky. I think these were just not from a reference. I think these were just from my imagination, and I think this guy came out looking super cool. This woman's kind of weird looking, but not horrible. And then I've got some character drawings from 20th Century Boys, another manga series here. And yeah, these are all okay. I like this guy a lot, or his character design I've always thought is really cool. So I like how his face came out. Just some more drawings of people. These were also just from my imagination, and this guy I think came out looking pretty lifelike. He just looks like a dude. So yeah, pretty happy with that. Kind of anime girl here a little bit. Really cool kind of traditional or Japanese traditional tattoo style tiger here. I actually have a very similar tattoo to this now, so this was definitely before I got it. So kind of fun that I was already, thinking about big cats, and you'll start seeing a lot more big cats show up in this sketchbook. Pretty fun drawing here. I'd gotten some new pens that I used for this tiger drawing here, and just wanted to draw some lines, and I think this came out looking pretty cool, or just really full. This was over Christmas time now. Catherine's my sister, so she was messing around and trying out all of my pens here. This is a really fun drawing. This is from Jujutsu Kaisen again. One of my favorite scenes in the whole manga. Again, if you've read it or seen it, you'll know the context, but kind of a weirdly emotional scene for a series that's normally kind of just the Oonga Boonga fight fest. But I really love how my line work here on Jogo came out. I think it's just super clean, and yeah, these all really turned out well. Got some more drawings here from 20th Century Boys. I don't think any of these are done super well, but yeah, some good practice of some more expressive faces, so that was good to get some practice in. Just some doodles on this page. Got Tom from Tom and Jerry looking like a pimp here or something. Pretty bad skull. And then some mechs here. This one's really cool, actually. This is pretty good perspective. But yeah, not a bad page. On this page, I said, brush pens are hard down here in the corner. Just trying to work with brush pens again. And this soldier has the longest leg ever known. This is crazy. So yeah, that was not my best. And then I think this is Ryzen, something like that from Metal Gear Solid. Again, I haven't played the games, just really love the concept art for the series. And then I've got the Daft Punk robots there. Really cool drawing of Misa from Death Note. I'm honestly not a huge fan of Death Note, but I've always thought her character design was really cool, and I just really love how the colored pencils on this came out. Looking back on it, I definitely would have added a little bit more depth to the coloring of her hair, and then on the scythe here too, I think that could use a little bit more contrast to kind of make it pop a little bit. But I love the details that are on her coat here that I added, and then her boots, I think, came out so good. So yeah, super happy with this overall. There's definitely looking at a reference, but all of the colored pencils, was my own doing, and I really like how it all came together. We've got Zoro and Sanji here from One Piece. Not my best drawing, but not horrible. Zoro's got a character bit where he's always getting lost, so I was kind of drawing it as if he was walking into the world of Death Note, getting lost across series, so that was the idea there. I've got a little drawing here. I think this was, my inspiration was drawing Chloe as a kind of in a Western style, sort of cowgirl sort of thing. For some reason, I was inspired to draw my high school computer science teacher. I am not in high school, have not been for many years, but I remember really distinctly I was trying to draw him, so yeah, it did come out looking like him, so not hating on it. Okay drawing here. Don't love it, don't hate it. Yeah, actually, I don't really like this one. I think it's pretty ugly. I don't know what I'm talking about. We've got a little page here. Things I want for Chloe and I's apartment. We were moving in together for the first time, so yeah, I was kind of making a list of some stuff that I wanted to look at getting. And then really cool character design here. I think this was just from my imagination. And yeah, I think this guy's pretty badass. We've got Kusakabe here from Jujutsu Kaisen. Really love how kind of scratchy this is. I think that really works with the style, and yeah, I love how his hair in particular came out. I think that's pretty sweet. And then cool little snake kind of tattoo design there. I've got N here from Dorohedoro. This is definitely from a reference, but again, I'm super happy with how the colored pencils on this came out, and I think, you know, I'm really happy that this is so red and so saturated, but I think it's still kind of, you know, there's still a good amount of visual clarity on what's going on here. So yeah, really love that. And then a cool car here. And I really like how these pages kind of flip back and forth, where there's a blue page and then a red page. That was pretty fun. Me and my friend here were trying to draw a comic of a little like funny interaction we had. Didn't really get off the ground, but fun idea. This is a pretty fun drawing here. It's honestly super ugly, but I honestly really love this drawing, I think because of that. I think it's kind of BoJack Horseman inspired of, you know, this character here just like super out of this reality, I guess. I don't know. But just like, I like how everything feels kind of like a liminal space, or, you know, super stripped back. All right, here I've got a thumbnail sketch for a big piece I was working on at the time. I'll pop up an image on the screen of what the final result looked like, but yeah, you can see there was some big cat inspiration here. I originally wanted to add like some pistols and some birds and daggers and shit, but yeah, you'll see it didn't quite end up like that. I've got another drawing here from Jujutsu Kaisen. This one didn't turn out great, but you know, not horrible. Pretty ugly pencil sketches here. I was trying to work on anatomy a little bit just from memory, and yeah, you can tell this is not quite right. But super sweet drawing of Hikari from Jujutsu Kaisen again here. He's kind of his power kind of involves gambling, so drew a little 777 above him, and yeah, I think this came out really well. Super fun doodle page here. These are actually kind of two separate drawings, but because they're kind of a similar style, they kind of bleed together. But on this page, I remember I was having a really nice day at the coffee shop my girlfriend works at, and I was at the park across the street, maybe enjoying some herbal refreshments. And yeah, was inspired to draw lots of cool shapes and designs after. This doodle here is kind of inspired by the Gojo vs. Sukuna fight and Jujutsu Kaisen, so if you've read the series, you'll notice a lot of little things like Maharaga's wheel or Sukuna's mouth and tattoos here, Gojo's eye getting crossed out. I don't know. I was trying to do something and it ended up being kind of shitty, but not the worst thing in the world. At this time, I had gotten a job. I was working as a janitor at Safeway, working 6 a.m. shifts. So it's not the most glamorous, but it did give me lots of time to sneak away into little corners and do some pretty shitty drawings on receipts. So got a little bear on a bicycle there, really horrible drawing of Gojo, and then a kind of fun drawing of I wanted this to be me every day, you know, getting some coffee in and waking up, but I was always cheap as hell and didn't want to go to the Starbucks in the store, so I just had to dream about the idea of coffee. Some pretty cool drawings here. These are all taken from the Gojo vs. Sukuna fight. Gojo there looking pretty badass. Little Sukuna there. And then I love this drawing of Gojo, actually. This is definitely taken from a panel in the series. But I honestly love how, like, fucked up he looks here. At this point in the fight, he for sure had given himself, like, brain damage and things had escalated a lot. So I think it kind of captures, like, the intensity of it with how kind of scratchy and ugly this drawing is. So, yeah, I think it kind of ended up working out. I remember this was a travel day. Let's see. Chloe and I are flying to Utah today. Our parents are meeting each other for the first time this trip, so let's hope it goes well. And it did go well, but yeah, it was kind of a big occasion. Got a really horrible drawing of Chloe here. I promise she does not look like this. That was not doing her justice. Then yeah, some random people at the airport. Little doodle here. I had the idea of trying to do kind of a symmetrical design on one side to the other so it'd mirror each other. And then very quickly realized that was going to be a real pain in the ass or a lot of work to try and get things to line up. So I gave up on that pretty quickly. I've got some cool drawings here inspired by Bleach, which I had started reading at the time. So I've got Byakuya there looking pretty cool. This is like classic Bleach style. And then these were just for my imagination. I drew, you know, kind of a character that's supposed to be an insert into Bleach here. Kind of looks like Choso a little bit from Jujutsu Kaisen. But yeah, I honestly love how scratchy this is, even though it's really messy. And then, yeah, another Bleach character I made up. Not bad, looks okay. And then I think this is the last page, maybe second to last page. But got a little drawing of Sukuna there. Cool anatomy there on his stomach with his abs and mouth on his stomach. So yeah, that's kind of cool. And then here we are at the end. I had my first little try at doing kind of a scrapbooky style here. This was kind of cool. And yeah, that was this sketchbook. Thank you so much for watching. I'm really proud of a lot of the work in this sketchbook, and I don't know, I think it's nice to kind of recognize your successes, because Lord knows there's a lot of drawings I've done in my time that I'm not super proud of. So yeah, really happy with this sketchbook, happy to have the memories associated with it, and yeah, thank you all for watching. Bye, friends.